Hi, folks. You guys here? So I'm Raleigh Brown, and welcome to my little studio here, and another version of curve flattening concerts. We're trying to hang in through the pandemic, and I try to come up with something to keep you guys entertained and maybe help us preserve our sanity. It certainly helps my sanity to have something to focus on like this. So that's one of the reasons I do these, a selfish reason, albeit maybe useful to others as well. So I'm going to start out today with a Bert Jansch song, and it's actually a traditional song called Reynardine. And Reynardine has a kind of odd history in that it's basically, because of the name, it was associated with foxes, renard, which is French for fox. And although it was not originally a kind of Weir Fox song, it became one, largely because of a song collector named A.L. Lloyd. And his version was passed on to Anne Briggs, the wonderful British traditional singer. And Anne Briggs was good friends with Bert. So Bert learned it from her, but his version avoided the Weir Fox reference, and hers does not. Hers is the genuine item. I like to think of it as, there's a lot of kind of ladies love outlaws songs. I'm just going to up this just a tad. And so this is a ladies love outlaws song, but it's also they love werewolf outlaws or Weir Fox outlaws even more. So that's kind of what's going on here. So it's Bert's arrangement. It's hard enough to play it, and then to play and sing it at the same time is a challenge. So bear with me. But it's a beautiful guitar arrangement. One evening as I rambled among the spring and thyme, I overheard a young woman converse with reynardine. Her hair was black, her eyes were blue, her mouth as red as wine, and he smiled as he looked upon her, did the sly old reynardine. She said, "My man, please be civil, my company forsake, for in my good opinion I believe you are a rake." Oh no, my dear, I am no rake, brought up in Venus train, but I'm seeking for concealment all from the judge's men. Her ruby lips, her rosy cheeks, they lost their former hue, and she fell into his arms then, all among the mountains he had not kissed her once or twice, till she came to again. And modestly she asked him, "Pray tell to me your name." He said, "My dear, if you look for me, perhaps you'll not be fine, but I'll be in my green castle. Pray inquire for reynardine." By day and night she followed him, his teeth so bright did shine, and he led her over the mountain in the sly bold reynardine. In the sly bold reynardine. So that's Reynardine. There are a couple lines in there which turn it into the Weir Fox thing, and one of them is I'll be in my green castle, the idea of the wild woods, and the other is his teeth so bright did shine. The other versions say her eyes so bright did shine. So that's that. So that's our first song for today, and that's one that, frankly, for performance, I'm glad to have out of the way, because it's a little bit of a struggle, but I love it. I love his amazing way of thinking about arranging on the guitar, and then his dexterity and ability and musicality, especially. I had the privilege of being asked to do a full instructional DVD on Bert Jansch's guitar style, and that is available. It has about 11 songs on it, and one of them is Reynardine. And you could find that at RaleighBrown.com under the store link, where there are also about 14 other DVDs. But I digress. So this next song comes from another great guitarist. It's not a great guitar tune, Eric Frandsen. And Eric I've known for about 40 years, and he's another one of the, like me, he's one of the guys who really appreciated Steve Mann's playing, the California guitarist. And Eric met him when they were very young. I met Steve late in his life. Learned from him, and also just had a lot of great guitar chops himself. But Eric is also a great songwriter and singer, and he's an actor, and has appeared on the Colbert shows a lot as the Austrian Prime Minister or something like that. You might find him there. But this song is the first of two dog songs. The second one is just a dog instrumental, but this first one is really a dog song. And Eric told me that when you perform this, the way it was meant to be performed is that you have, those paintings you used to see of a bunch of dogs sitting in a bar room playing poker, and so that's the staging of it. And then the dogs get off of their chairs and put their cards down and walk down to the front of the stage, and then they sing this song. Henry the dog is getting old. Soon he'll be going away to a place where fire hydrants are made out of gold, and the squirrels let you catch them all day. He'll be bounding for joy with a big squeaky toy. He won't do nothing but play. And there will be Henry to reach out his paw when we all go to to join him someday. Yes, Henry the dog is getting old. Soon he'll be taking a break in a place where fire hydrants are made out of gold, and the mailman is made out of steak. Thank you very much. I hope you appreciated that. I actually have another Eric Frandsen song, which we're going to save for another day. It is also a good-humored one. So I'm gonna get rid of this guitar. There's enough for this guitar for today. That's the old Gibson. That's a 1938 Gibson LO. And at various times in the Gibson history, the LO was either the cheapest guitar they made, or the LOO was the cheapest guitar they made. And it would change sometimes from a couple times over the years. So I have a 38 LO, and that year the LO was the cheapest Gibson. And I have a 34 LOO, and that year that was the cheapest Gibson. And then I have the RB LOO, which was made by Mario Pru. Is not cheap, nor meant to be, and it captures some of the qualities of those old Gibsons and something else that's very special about the way Mario builds guitars. So our next tune, this is we had a series of Australian Kelpies. Those are the Australian sheep herding dogs. Aren't very well known in America, really. But they're wonderful dogs in Australia, and we actually ordered. I got my first Kelpie when I lived in Australia in the early '80s, and we ordered a Kelpie from a breeder in what year was that? Maybe 1990. It was 91 because it was right around 9/11. It happened. He arrived just before 9/11, so he made it in under the wire before the flights got canceled. And his name we named him Django. But of course, they give a dog a breed name as well. And for this particular kennel or breeder, they when they had a litter, they'd all have to have the same initial. So they said, well, it has to start with a P. So we're like, okay, what's PD, it was a boy, Pierre. Pierre actually would not have been a bad idea. And we finally settled on Phantom because he was a fawn and tan Kelpie, which is like almost looks like a little ghost dog. And Django was a great dog, and he was with us for about 12 years, and he passed on a few years ago. And this is the Phantom's Lullaby. So that's the Phantom's Lullaby. You saw Suki sneak in here for a little bit. She's laying over on her carpet over there now. Suki and Django lived together harmoniously. They weren't like buds, but they lived harmoniously for about 5 years. As Django aged, Suki was still young and in her prime then. So I've got one more for you, and this one goes back. I wrote this song when I lived in San Francisco, and it's called the North Beach Blues. A bunch of us were at Kent State in 1970, and after that, those murders and all the trauma associated with it, we were a pretty close-knit bunch of friends. About a year later, I moved to Cape Cod, and a bunch of other Kenties showed up there as well. Not that I led the way or anything, but some of us went up and others came later. And then I moved out to San Francisco after stopping off in Cleveland for a while. And while I lived in San Francisco, I really missed that crew. And this song came out of that. There's I don't know if he's here today, but my buddy Bill Rubenstein, he gets a shout out. His name is in the song. He was called Billy at that time. He might catch it on the rebound. He's here a lot of days. And the other character in it is a guy named Skinny Bob. And Skinny Bob was an endearing but difficult character who became a very good guitarist. He was a left-handed guitar player. And we were all friends for many years, and then Skinny kind of disappeared. We don't know whatever happened to him. Well, there are rumors. But anyhow, this is the North Beach Blues. Give my hello to Skinny Bob, to Billy and all my friends. Hey, I might get back to Cape Cod if winter ever ends. If winter ever ends. This graveyard shift in North Beach sure throws a chill in me. Standing here in my blue collar, as blue as I could be, as blue as I could be. I always answer when I'm asked, hey, I'm living for today. But you know my mind's been on my past, a continent away, a continent away. So say hello to Skinny Bob, to Billy and all my friends. Hey, I might get back to Cape Cod if winter ever ends. If winter ever ends. So that's the North Beach Blues. I was working, I did a lot of stuff in San Francisco. I did end up with a nice guitar teaching gig. But I worked for quite a while as a parking lot attendant. I was a Teamster, proud of it too. And I had I worked the graveyard shift in a little parking lot that was on the line between North Beach and Chinatown and the theater district. So you had the whole Chinatown scene, and you had the Little Fox Theater there, and Francis Ford Coppola would walk through on his way to lunch and stuff like that. And then you had North Beach with, like, Carol Doda would park her car there, and the strip joints and the City Lights bookstore and all that stuff. So it was a very cool neighborhood, but in the middle of the night it got a little troublesome there sometimes, and I would be under those neon lights, in the dark there, and it was cold in San Francisco at night, and I'd have my blue shirt with the little tag that said Raleigh, the only time I ever had my name tag on a shirt. So that's the story of the North Beach Blues. We all survived until now, at least. And hopefully we'll survive again until tomorrow. I will be on at 10:30. I'm not sure if I'm going to do 3 or 4 things for the Sunday morning thing. I'm trying to cut that back a little. And then Monday I'm off, but Alex will be back. Alex Bevan will be on at 3:30. And then I'll be back Tuesday at 3. So tomorrow at 10:30, Tuesday at 3, Alex Monday at 3:30. You guys take care of yourselves. Try to stay safe. Try to stay sane. We're struggling with that. And if you get cranky, take a nap. What more is there to say? Have a great day. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.